instaMERSION.
Alrighty, everybody, welcome to I Am Talk. We have elizabethlariva in the house, and oh my gosh, I'm so excited because I remember the first time we had met each other was actually through water baptism.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to just, share some time with you and see what questions you have for me.
Yeah. So I am just so inspired. I've been really blessed to be able to just really get to know you probably over the last few months. So I know we met a while ago, but I think it was probably like the last few months where we actually started serving at church together.
Yes.
Where I really got to just see how funny you are, how passionate you are. And I feel like you're just full of just so many stories.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it.
No, this is just what God is doing in your life. And so I just maybe want to just ask you, how did you come to Hawaii? You're originally from Peru.
Yes.
Right, so maybe you can kind of share a little bit about
Yeah, so it's actually really interesting because I never thought I would be living any other place but my country. And what happened was that I mean, it's a really long story, probably more than 30 minutes here, but I'll try to shorten it out so we don't go like 4 hours here. But yeah, no, it was a pretty interesting thing because it was in my heart. I keep having dreams about Hawaii. Like I've been in Paliluka in my dreams before I've been in person. And I just knew I had to come back to Hawaii in some way. And I bought a round trip ticket. 20-day round trip ticket, and I just never used my way back. So
Wow. And what was the first time, like when you made that first trip to Hawaii? What was it about this place that
that's well, I actually came by mistake. I wasn't supposed to be in Hawaii, but there were some situations that happened that I ended up coming to Hawaii that I didn't even know it was America. I was like, oh, it's the United States, But I came to Hawaii and went back to Peru every single day having dreams about Hawaii, and I knew I had to come back. And that's when I bought the ticket and just never used my way back. And it's been, 12 years now. And I didn't know absolutely anyone's, no cousins, no aunties, no uncles, no one.
And did you even have a job, or did you?
No job.
Completely no connection to any network whatsoever. But fast forward the tape, here you are right now, just so successful. You know so many people and are so well connected.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was definitely God's plan, and the way He acts, is pretty interesting because He just put the perfect people at the perfect time that I needed it. And to me, it's just like so mind blowing that to see the power of God. How, I wouldn't have ever thought coming to Hawaii and be living here anyways, right? Doing real estate even less. So, but God's plans are different. So that's what I really love, because I feel like He has a plan for all of us, and sometimes we don't get it, right? Sometimes, because I remember crying in Peru one day, and I'm like, why I cannot get a job, or why is this happening? And sometimes we want this, but God wants this for us.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of what happened with me, right? He's like, no, I have bigger plans than what you're thinking.
So it's so evident that God speaks to you. His voice is so clear to you, and it was Him, right, was the one that drew you to this place. And I believe just opened so many doors. And so what was your experience like first having a relationship with God, or how did that all come to be?
Yeah, no, again, interesting again, because when I came to Hawaii, in my country, you don't leave your home until your fiance goes to your parents and asks for marriage.
So you were...
I'm a rebel, yeah. I was a rebel. So.
But you were engaged at the time, or?
No. I mean, I had a boyfriend for 7 years, and that was another thing, right? And when I came to Hawaii, I pretty much dropped everything. My family didn't talk to me for like 2 years because they dishonor me, right?
Oh.
Yeah. And then there was a time where I hit like rock bottom, and I had, of course, my 7-year relationship with my ex-boyfriend. Of course that was over because he's like, what are you doing over there?
What about me?
Who told you to go there, right? And so yeah, my grandma was sick, my uncle passed away, and one of the reasons why I decided to stay in Hawaii was because I used to own a company in Peru, so I wanted to now open the company here in Hawaii, and I started the immigration paperwork, and my ex-business partner stole all the money from me.
Oh no.
He knew I couldn't go back to Peru because I was in the process of immigration, right? My parents weren't talking to me. I mean, you name it, everything went wrong.
Sounded like
yeah.
There's a lot of hardship kind of in that transition.
Yeah, really, really. And I mean, even like little things like my iPhone, I lost all my contacts because I'm like, really, God? Like anything else you want to send at this point, right?
So that must have been such a frustrating thing for you. I mean, just wanting to make this leap, but all at the same time having all these different things.
Yeah. And you know, there was a time where I remember thinking there's no God, because there was a time when I lost everything pretty much. You know, my business partner did everything that I just shared, right? That happened. I ended up with $260 in my pocket.
Oh my gosh.
And living in Hawaii, not knowing absolutely
That's
everyone.
like 2 plate lunches and a Starbucks.
Yeah. No, one actually, one plate lunch. Yeah, Hawaii got expensive now. So yeah, I mean, there was a time where I remember crying for a whole week because I was so empty, and I remember narrowing it down to Kapilani Park or La Moana Beach Park. Like, those were the places where I was just gonna sleep.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because I was pretty much homeless. I had nothing. I mean, you name it. I would have to split a McDonald's for lunch and dinner. That's how poor I was. Yeah. Wow. So I remember one time I was crying, and I mean, when I ran out of tears, because you know, there's sometimes that you cry so much that you're like, hey, nothing's coming out anymore. Like,
Will's gone dry.
what happened? You know. So at that point I was laying down in my bed, and I felt somebody like doing this to me. Wow. Yeah. And I just knew it was God. And for some reason I felt I was like my head was on his lap, and he was just like doing this to me, that everything's gonna be all right. And I won't ever forget that moment, because you know, so empty. I didn't have friends, you know, so
I still don't have friends. I'm still working on it.
One. You have one now. So yeah, it was, I felt that at that point is, you know, when I knew there was something out there. I mean, I grew up Catholic, but in more religion than relationship.
Sure.
And I think that's where my journey with God started.
Yeah. And so you mentioned just that intimate touch that he had over you in a time where pretty much your situation seemed impossible, right? Yeah. $260 in your pocket, splitting up McDonald's meals.
Yeah.
How did it go from there in terms of like, wait, you had $260, but then I'm sure there's so many stories and leaps and bounds in terms of how you got to where you are today, right?
Yeah. No, so I remember, you know, running out of tears, and I remember one day just waking up and just saying, you know, I'm just gonna make it happen. Like, I have no other option than just to make it happen, because survival mode, really.
Absolutely.
And you know, I wanted to do it the right way. I could have had opportunities to just take the easy route.
Sure.
And you know, it taught me a lot, because when I had nothing, I remember having people that just were so mean to me, or you know, wanting to take advantage of me. I mean, I was younger and prettier. Just for the record. So, you know, I remember having people, you know, I would be like, hey, Alex, let me wash your car and just give me anything. Let me clean your house, give me anything, right? And you're in survival mode. I mean, I did carpentry, I fixed AC units. I don't even know how I did it. Good thing they didn't call back.
But it seemed like
I'm like YouTubing how to do this.
Hey, that's the best way to become a master at anything.
Survival mode. And I remember, you know, I still remember cleaning a studio, probably the size of just this room.
Sure.
And, you know, one person gave me $100, and to me that was a lot, right? And I remember also cleaning a Hawaii Loa Rich house. Now I'm in real estate now, right? So now I know it was like a $4.9 million home.
Yeah.
And, you know, I worked the whole day for $30.
Wow.
Because that's what, because I was, you know, give me whatever, right? But for me, even if it was $30, I was still grateful because I would still be able to at least eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it sounds like God kind of put you in a place where you were just willing to do whatever it took.
Yeah.
And then even just your value of the dollar or just your value of hard work where you probably didn't take any of that for granted. If it was $10, $50, $100, you're probably like, oh my.
Oh yeah, every penny I would be like, there's a penny in the street. I'm running there.
Store it away.
Mine, I saw it first. Yeah, no, so it's that. And then I remember, you know, I had a friend that was gonna buy a car from the auction. And I, long story short, I decided to go into the auction and just buy a car and for $200, and I sold it the same day for $1,200. So I was like, there's money to make here. Yeah.
Was that kind of a light bulb kind of moment for you?
Yeah, it was, because I mean, just from struggling from making $30 one day to making $1,000 one day, right? It was like, I think I gotta get into this business. And
I want to kind of talk about that for a moment. So for you to be able to sell something that they're willing to give this clunker away for $200, but for you to upsell it from $200 to almost like, wait, what's the math? Like 6 times, right?
Yeah.
Is that the math? Yeah, 200 times 6, right? Like, how are you able to like convince somebody that, hey, this is actually worth more than?
Yeah. Well, I would buy them from the auction, right? So right there, and then the other.
So you get kind of a discounted rate already.
Yes. And then I was, you know, it was a men's world, so I would go all pretty, you know, I would put little shorts.
Elizabeth.
Hey, you know, like only look, don't touch, you know. But yeah, no, it was a men's world where, you know, I remember, you know, because you raise your hand kind of like to bid on cars, and I would just give them the look, like, can you let me just have this one, you know? So they would at least give me, you know, or not give me, but, you know, help me or not outbid me. So that helped me a lot, and I just had to educate myself a lot in cars.
Absolutely.
All of a sudden I knew a lot about cars, and you would see me fixing cars, and yeah, so it definitely a journey. And that's how then I transitioned into real estate, right? I wanted to do buy cheap, sell high, but that's how my journey really started.
That's so interesting how it just started from going to auctions and just kind of seeing the opportunities that were there. What was it about real estate where, you know, how were you introduced to it, and how did you educate yourself in terms of like getting to where you are right now?
Yeah, it's really strange because again, I was doing the car business and I was doing pretty good, but I knew I wanted to do something bigger.
Sure.
And it was weird because one day I wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning because I heard you have to get into real estate, and I signed up for a class at 3 a.m. in the morning. So I, not knowing anything about real estate, not any background or nothing.
What? But you're like this expert now, or like at least in my eyes, right?
Well, yeah, I signed up and I did the class, and I remember even thinking like, how do people get business? Because not my culture, not my language, I didn't know anyone. So, you know, people didn't think I was gonna make it. And I mean, my first real estate dresses were from Goodwill, and I couldn't even afford the regular price Goodwill. I had to go, there's a sales section, I don't know if you knew that, but yeah, there's a sales section at Goodwill. And or, you know, people would donate clothes. And then back in the day, escrow companies could sponsor brokers open, so they would bring food. I would bring a container with me, and that was my lunch and my dinner. So I would pick houses because I made the goal to see minimum 20 houses a week, because I wanted to be that person that was gonna work harder than anybody else. I wanted to be that realtor that was gonna be there for you, and I was gonna care so much, because I think that what sets me apart from a lot of people is that I don't take any client for granted, because my background and my beginnings really makes me appreciate people. And it's a way to honor God as well through my business, you know. So I feel that that's where I really, people saw the difference. And at the same time, I mean, I used to do open houses Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. my first transaction was from door knocking. Really, like, Mililani actually was Mililani. I would just knock on doors and ask for business. My first listing was a Mililani Mauka house for sale.
That's so amazing.
So I was willing to work harder than anybody else. And in the meantime, I would okay, I gotta see 20 houses. Which ones are offering food? So I can bring my container with me. And that was my lunches and my dinner. So nobody thought I'll make it. But, I'm grateful that I've been top 100 Oahu agents for, the past, 6-7 years, I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
What kind of perspective does it give you? Because I'm sure upon first appearance, people would say, oh, you're successful, you have it pretty well made. But I feel like, and then even for me, myself, as I'm getting to know you more and more, I had no idea that you went through just so much struggle. And then even as you got your license and we're trying to find your place in real estate, even just those initial years, you still had to do so many things, even just to kind of feed yourself, but just to get by buying dresses from a Goodwill, but just pretty much doing whatever it took to be able to say, hey, you know what, I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna. I believe. I mean, what was your motivation, and what was, how did you keep going and not give up?
I feel in some way, I let God guide me, even that I didn't know God was guiding me, but I was pretty obedient to what I was feeling. And it was also a journey on discovering where God was taking me, because I did get to explore different churches, different religions, and I think it was a lot of just wanting to follow what His will was for me, which was pretty special. And I feel that now it gives me a different perspective, because I'm more grateful. I'm a really grateful person. Sometimes we can be like, oh my God, this is the end of the world. But there's people that don't even know if they're gonna eat tomorrow. There's people that don't have freedom. They don't know what a soda is or TV is. And sometimes, it gives me a different perspective, because I know what it is not to have food on my table. And the fact of now being able to share a meal with a client or whoever, it's just like, wow, I know what it is not to have these. So it makes me so grateful. I'm really grateful for the whole journey. And, I became the person that, I am today.
Absolutely.
So still need some tweaks, but way better than before.
One thing that really strikes me about you is that I'm learning that you're probably one of the most generous people that I know. And so given your struggle, your background, your appreciation for the dollar, your appreciation for hard work, how does generosity speak to you now? I
feel that God blesses us so we can bless other people. I feel that, I always say safety blankets is good. If you like a nice watch or a nice bag, it's okay, but don't ever forget where you come from. And God gives us everything. He could also take it away, right? And I feel that I like to see entrepreneurship as a way of worshiping God. That's my goal. I want to be a faith-driven entrepreneurial person, where it's not just my clients, but my assistants, my team. How am I? I could be successful in the world's eyes, but am I successful in God's eyes?
Two different things there.
Completely different, right? So that's what I really want to focus. Who did I bring anyone to Jesus? Did I make this person better? Are my team better? That's what I try to focus on. So it's generosity, not just economically, but it could also be generosity on, I'm going to put the time and the effort to get to know this person, to really care for, my team. And hey, do you need anything? It's how's life? How's your wife? Has, little things like that can go really, further ways. So it's exciting. I love that God gives us tools to bless others through business. Totally. The best.
You're a living example of somebody that's actually doing that. And one thing that I also love about you too is that for me, being able to serve with you more on our connections team at C4 Christ Center Community Church, I'm able to see different sides of you in terms of how you're being the light into darkness, right? And how you're introducing Jesus to so many people. I don't see your real estate as one thing and then your love for Jesus as another thing, but I really see the two worlds blending together, and then you even just like every week there's somebody different that you're bringing to church. I'm like, how are you convincing all these people? But you know, what's your heart behind that? And
yeah, I just feel that I just pray every day that God gives me His eyes, and I just see so many amazing things on people that, you know, I pray, God, give me your eyes for this person and just allow me to be a vessel for you. And sometimes, you know, as maybe as a business owner, you know, people can look up to you, right? So you become in some way an inspiration for them. And sometimes people want to know, like, what's inside of Elizabeth that, you know, gets my attention. And it's not really me. I just think it's the Holy Spirit that lives inside of me, that's why people tend to be attracted. And, you know, it's like, I always say, it's like having an amazing restaurant and, you know, the service is good, the food is good, it's great price, great location. Don't you want to like talk about it? And Jesus and God is like the best restaurant ever. And so you just want to, I want happiness for people. I want the best for them. And if I can show them what is the way to their happiness, why not? Why not allow God to just act through me, you know, you know, help them. Yeah.
Another thing that I've noticed about you too is that I've never seen you angry or I've never seen you in conflict with anybody, but I've just seen this joy of the Lord spring forth in you, and just you having this amazing ability just not to be offended by maybe somebody might be in competition with you in real estate, or maybe you know, they might say something, you know, like girls, they catfight about all that kinds of different things because of jealousy or whatnot. But how do you not allow just these outside things in the world offend who you are in Christ?
Yeah, I mean, big difference between happiness and sadness, right? That's belongs to the earth. What belongs to God is joy. Sure. So I always say, you know, I'm like, yeah, like games. I'm like, you're not gonna take my joy away, you know. So I make it a game, and you know, by the end of the day, I also, again, praying for God's eyes gives me that compassion for people. Absolutely. To know that, hey, we don't know what they're fighting. We don't know what. Everybody's dealing with their own monsters, and the most we can do, and that's what God wants for us, right? He wants us to love Him and to love everybody. And you know, there's some people that are easier to love, there's some people like, that's a tough one. But by the end of the day, we don't know the journey that they're going through, right? Yeah. And the most we can do is just love them and just have compassion for them, right? Yeah. And then I always think there's always a reason to smile. Like I always, you know, if things get hard in my life, just stop and say, hey, I live in Hawaii. I have all my body parts, you know, just so many. My parents are alive. Like, I mean,
a lot to rejoice.
There's just like, yeah. So I think it's key that every day, you know, I like to find things that I'm grateful for. And there's always more than, you know, there's so many reasons to be grateful for it. Yeah.
Another super fascinating thing that I love about you, because I also have a food channel, right, is your love for
I love
food.
Yes.
And so you actually have, what's the name of your...
Eating Hawaii with me.
Eating Hawaii with
my
me.
Instagram page.
That's her handle. What are different palettes that attract you? How do you go about your finds? I mean, tell me a little about
so Eating Hawaii with me started more like a hobby, and because of real estate I tend to go to so many different places, right? So, and I'm a foodie. I eat everything but vegetables, as you know. I hate vegetables. So, but I just started trying different, you know, for me there's something more when it comes to, you know, breaking bread together with people. There's just something that, you know, allows you to really get to know the person at a different level.
And you eat some pretty eclectic things.
Yeah, I eat a lot of exotic stuff, you know. I mean, Peruvians, right? We eat like intestines, tripes, guinea pig, blood. I don't know if that's gonna be censored, but
So what's one of the craziest things that you've eaten most recently?
Well, most recently, because I was gonna say, you know, like in Peru we eat frogs, you know, frog soup. You see the frog like this in this.
It's one thing to eat the legs, but to actually see the frog submerged like that.
Yeah. So we eat a lot of like exotic stuff. So I enjoy it. Yeah, but just no broccoli. Everything but broccoli.
I think I remember you told me that you don't like vegetables.
I hate vegetables.
That's so odd. That's so interesting.
Yeah, but I also feel that I do it as a hobby. I don't do it. I mean, I do feature different restaurants and stuff, but I also feel it's a way of, again, worshiping, because I'm able to go to restaurants that, you know, are struggling, especially more, you know, with the current situation. But I feel that it's a way to plant seeds to different people. And, you know, I'm not going to be the one in charge of, you know, God will take over. You know, I just plant different seeds. So
and anybody can connect to food, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a language that we all speak.
Universal.
Yes. So that's what I really love about it, and I just have fun doing it. Yeah.
Well, we're down to our last. It's crazy how much time just
really
goes
fast.
like that, right?
We can go on and on.
I feel like we just scraped the surface, but I kind of want to give you the floor in terms of what God is doing with you this season. If there's something that you want to promote, or maybe you have a project. But yeah, what is it? Just to maybe you can address the camera in the back right there.
Sure. Yeah, well, of course, I'm a realtor, so if there's any real estate needs, I love my job. And I honestly don't look just for clients. I don't treat my clients like a number, but I'm more of building relationship with my clients, because, you know, it's all about having fun, it's all about enjoying, and it's all about getting to meet people. So, you know, if there's any real estate need, and also for food, you know, just my Instagram page is Eating Hawaii with me, in case you guys, and I eat from like fancy restaurants to like super holes in the wall, like $3 meals, all type of food as long as it's good. So yeah, feel free to follow me. And I also welcome any friendship. I love people. I love if there's anything, you know, I just love acting as a vessel for God. So
awesome.
If you just want my friendship, hey, let's grab a coffee or something and talk story. I love that. Yeah.
And if there's a way where people could connect to you, maybe through your email and your website, what are those ways that we can just connect with you?
Yeah. I mean, you can follow me on my Instagram page, right? Eating Hawaii with me, or elizabethlariva. That's my Instagram page. And you want my phone number?
Maybe, I mean, if you're comfortable sharing that.
It's 808-554-9667.
Bombarded with phone calls of people wanting
Text message is better.
they're going to want to go shopping for houses and just go eat with you.
Yeah, I mean, I love people, and I just feel that, hey, God put me in a place where I just have fun meeting people. It's just so awesome to see what, you know, God does through me to others. So yeah, or just my email, elizabethlariva@gmail.com. That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, you're such a light into just every room that you walk into.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
When we're serving together at our church cafe, it can be so quiet. And then all of a sudden when you come in, it's just like there's like a party of just people laughing and enjoying each other, and you're talking to everybody and just totally working the room. So just so appreciate.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm really appreciate, and you know, you're such an amazing person.
Oh, it's not about me.
Okay, give me back the spotlight.
Well, I want to give you one more minute if there's anything that you want to add before. I know our time goes by so quick, but
that was really...
any last thoughts or last insights that you want to share with us today?
What kind of insights do you want?
Anything.
I have a whole long list.
Maybe what's something that God has spoken to you recently?
I mean, I think it is a really special season right now. I feel that, you know, He's really knocking on our hearts right now, and He's just asking for us to, you know, get to know Him, and, you know, no religion, but more of a relationship. I think He's like sitting on the corner of our bed every single night, just waiting for us to just say, okay, I just want to accept you in my life, and I just want to hear what your plans are for me, because God's plans are the best. So I just try to focus on reading His manual and not nobody else's manual.
So awesome. We have 30 seconds before our alarm is about to go off, but I just want to sincerely just thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come all the way over here, and just like, this is literally just the start of our conversation. And I just encourage you guys, if you want to connect with Elizabeth, I'll leave her contact information below, and you can either buy a house or eat some crazy good food. So,
or both.
Well, until the next episode, we'll see you guys later.
instaMERSION.
I would love to thank you for hanging out with us here on I Am Talk. hit the subscribe button to stay in tune with our channel. Oh, and don't forget to tap that bell icon to get notifications on the latest episodes coming your way. We're always looking for the next guests to talk story with here on I Am Talk. So if you just shoot me an email at alex@instaMERSION.com, I'll be sure to shoot a guest application your way. Well guys, it's all for now. Until our next episode of I Am Talk, this is Alex, and I'm out. Peace!